This is the Leapmotor C10. As you can see, its design is like a box with smooth, rounded edges. And the thing about boxes is, it offers plenty of space within. If you are thinking of selling your car for this Leapmotor C10, why not try selling it with Coats instead? Coats helps you sell your car quickly and easily. With the new Coats doorstep, get a professional inspection by our certified mechanics at your convenience anywhere on the island. Coats will then auction out your car online to its wide network of dealers to bid on your car. Once the bidding is complete, Coats will update you with their best offer price at no obligation. It's that easy. To find out more, visit coats.com.sg. That is QUOTZ.com.sg. Now let's get back to the review. As you can see, the C10 is an SUV, but unlike many SUVs that try to look aggressive, the C10 simply looks friendly and pleasant. Well, let's start off with the headlights. From what I can see, there are some hints of the smart #1 over here. It looks like something that Mercedes has designed. Once again, the box with rounded edges that I said earlier, look at the bumper design. It looks a little bit squarish and yet it's rounded. It all adds to this friendly, pleasant face. From the side of the car, the C10 reminds of yet another Mercedes-Benz product, which is the GLB. Just look at the boxy shape of this car. Well, I did say that it is a Cat A EV, so you might be thinking, how big is this car? Well, look at these beautiful wheels right here. The fact that these 20 inches wheels look so small on this car, it shows that how substantial the size of this car is. So let's move on to another interesting feature, which is this flush door handles over here. So as you know, a lot of electric EVs, they have these handles that pop out. Well, not on this car, I mean not exactly. This isn't motorized, so you still have to push on it and pull to open the car door. A little bit like what you find on the Nissan GT-R. So this is kind of cool because you don't need to worry about getting trapped inside the car because it's a manual mechanism right here. So moving on, this is really a spacious car. You can see from the substantial wheelbase that it has. So this translates to a lot of room within the car. And of course, because it is boxy, as I said, you get plenty of headroom as well. It is really very spacious inside it. Now let's move on to look at the back of the car. At the rear, this light bar over here gives off a Porsche Cayenne kind of vibes. And this individually lettered Leapmotor logo right here further adds on to it. And overall, I would say that the design of the car, the rear end, is simply clean and very pleasant. Now let's check out the boot space. So this right here is 435 liters of boot space. As you can see, it can fit in the cabin luggage without any issue at all. And as for the anti-trolley, it is just a little bit shy for the handle right over here. So apart from the space, there are nifty little features inside the boot right here, like these hooks over here, where if you tap out your foot or something, you don't want to hang it inside the car's cabin, you can hook it right here, so that adds a little bit more utility. Of course, being a modern SUV, the seats can also be knocked down for even more cargo space if you need to. Now let's get inside the car and check out the interior. So now I'm in the rear seats of the Leapmotor C10, and I can tell you the first thing that I felt was that this is a massive space. It feels like I'm sitting inside the living room instead of inside a car. Just look at the amount of space right here. So I'm 1.7 meters tall, not crazy tall, but you see there's a lot of headroom over here. Probably a 2-meter dude could fit in. And as for leg room wise, likewise, there's a lot of space. I can actually stick my legs out a little bit. That's just how spacious this car is. So now a little bit about the materials used. So apparently this is a special baby safe material, so you don't need to worry about any allergies or anything if you want to, even for kids or adults or anything. And well, it is plush to the touch, and these seats are really quite soft and comfortable. I really like how well put together the interior is because there isn't any weird creaks or noises or anything. It's just well built, exactly like what you would want. So now let's check out the center armrest. You will be thinking, why is there no cup holders right here? Well, that is because the cup holders are actually at the rear part of the center console right over here, just behind the central air vents. And of course, you get USB-C and USB-A charging ports here as well. Now let's check out this middle seat right here. So as you can see, this car is rather wide So it is still relatively spacious. You can definitely sit another adult beside on either side of me, even though you probably wouldn't want to do that for super long distances. So this car is pretty wide and spacious, so I can imagine that most adults will actually fit in the middle seat relatively well for short distances. And to add on to the comfort, this is a pure EV platform, which means that there isn't any transmission tunnel over here. So as you can see, I can rest my foot really comfortably right here. So now let's move over to the front and check out what it feels like in the driver's seat. So now I'm in the driver's seat of the C10 and I really like what I see. So from this two-tone material used, this black and this light brown color, I think it blends in really well, giving it a look of, like, as I said, a living room. It really feels like I'm sitting in a nice minimalistic living room. And although there are use of hard plastic present everywhere here and there, but they blend in really well with all the leather-like soft touch material elsewhere, and it doesn't, scream at you, and it's not piano black that is easy to scratch or anything. I think it's all very cohesive and very pleasant to look at. So now let's move on to what I see right in front of me. So of course, it's the steering wheel right here. This is a two-spoke steering wheel, and the knobs and buttons over here, they look exactly the same as what is found on the Tesla. Again, in line with the whole minimalistic theme. And the screen right here in front of me is a 10.25-inch digital cluster. So on it, you can see, your speed and the whatever radio station you are listening to. It's pretty handy and useful and very legible even in the bright sunlight right now. And of course, in a modern car, you need a large infotainment screen. This is 14.6 inch, which is actually properly sized in my opinion. It's not big enough that it juts out and affect your vision or anything, and yet it is big enough for you to use when driving around on the move. It's very easy to operate. A little bit of a downside though is that this car isn't equipped with native Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. From my understanding, it is a licensing issue, and in the future they might be able to resolve it, but for right now, their solution, at least what the distributor did, was to connect this. It's basically a third-party dongle that allows you to connect via your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay. And I've connected my phone. It works pretty well. So far, there isn't any issue. I can navigate on it. I can listen to my songs. It works exactly as though it is equipped with Android Auto natively. So as you can see, this is a very minimalistic cabin whereby there isn't any buttons apart from the ones on the steering wheel right here. So when it comes to aircon control, even the vents direction, they are all controlled within the touchscreen infotainment display right here. And thankfully, there's this air sweep function, which pretty much just, is like your aircon swing oscillate function, and you will just swing around and keep the entire cabin cool, which is pretty handy to use, especially in hot climate like Singapore over here. And yes, speaking of hot climate, you'll be happy that this car is equipped with front ventilated seats, and they are pretty strong, because I've sat in some cars that offers ventilated seats, but some of them are just a little bit lackluster. It just doesn't feel that powerful, but not in this car. These ventilated seats are good stuff. So being a modern EV, you expect it to have some smart features, and this car does come with a fair bit of smart features. For one, it has voice command and it works pretty well. Let me demo it to you. Hi Leapmotor, open driver side window. So you might be thinking, why is there a need to use features like this, right? Well, because when you are driving along on the road, you want to keep your focus on driving. So maybe you reach a toll booth in Malaysia, you don't want to fiddle with the window controls or anything. Well, you can just get Leapmotor to do it for you. So that adds to the smart functions. And of course, this car is equipped with a full suite of ADAS systems. So things like adaptive cruise control, lane centering, blind spot warning, and as well as your rear cross traffic, and all sorts of these assist systems. They are all there to keep you safe while you're driving on the road. Enough about the infotainment system. Now let's move down and look at the center console right here. You might be wondering what a card is doing over here. So this is actually the car's key. You use this to tap on the driver's side mirror, and that unlocks the car. After you get in, you got to place it on this part over here, which is actually an NFC card reader. So this allows you to start the car by pressing on the brake. After that, you can remove the card key, and well, this is also your wireless phone charger. So right beside this NFC reader that doubles as a phone charging pad, you have the cup holders over here. Of course, you also have a considerably sized glove compartment right here as well. As expected of many modern EVs, you get a full-size panoramic sunroof as well. But a little bit different part is that this is also equipped with a motorized electric sunshade. So in days whereby the sun is really strong and you don't want to get your head cooked, you can just close the shade and well, it becomes like a car that doesn't even have a sunroof. So that's it for the interior of this car. Now, does this car drive as well as it looks? Well, let's find out. The Leapmotor C10 is priced at $175,999. The single electric motor produces 134 brake horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. The single-speed transmission brings the car from 0 to 100 km per hour in 10.7 seconds. The 69.9 kWh battery has a 419 km drive range with a maximum DC fast charging rate of 84 kW, 30 to 80% in 30 minutes. For more details on the Leapmotor C10 or any other car, head on to Sgcarmart.com to help you make the smart choice on your next car. So right now I'm behind the wheel of the Leapmotor C10. This is a Cat A EV SUV, so it puts out some 100 kW, which is around 134 brake horsepower and 320 Nm of torque. So this is definitely not your very fast kind of car or anything, because it's an EV with that instantaneous torque. 0 to 60 or so, it's pretty brisk. But if you are going to accelerate to over 100 km per hour, it will take a little bit of time. So 0 to 100 is actually 10.7 seconds. Not crazy fast, but probably enough for you to drive around town in Singapore. The C10 is equipped with a 69.9 kWh battery, which gives it an official range of 419 kilometers. Well, I think that is pretty accurate, as I've driven the car for an entire day and we are still seeing an estimated range of 357 kilometers left. Well, enough about all that numbers. So how does the Leapmotor C10 drive? Well, according to what I've read, Leapmotor has actually developed the chassis, or rather tuned the chassis at a Maserati facility. So this is actually overseen by the same guy that has worked on the Maserati MC12. Yes, that is a supercar. That actually gives me a lot of hope, a lot of promises about how this car would actually handle. So I've driven it and this is what I felt. The steering wise, when it comes to steering feel and feedback, I've got to say, like most EV, it isn't really that great still. You don't get a lot of feedback. The steering is rather light and easy to drive, especially when you set it in comfort mode. But what I like is how responsive it is. So even with the minute adjustment, the car actually does for it. It feels like there's a little bit of sportiness even though it isn't a sports car or anything. And what really surprised me is the suspension in this car. So it's a little bit on the firmer side for sure, but it isn't uncomfortable or jarring. And when I was taking some corners a little bit more spiritedly, I found that, well, the car actually stayed very, very flat. I'm very surprised by that. So maybe Maserati did something special to the car? Well, so here's a pet peeve of mine when it comes to driving feel and characteristics: brake feel. So what I want, especially if you've driven more high performance cars, is that you want a brake that is very easy to control. So you apply a little bit of brake, gentle brakes, it's not very strong. You step really hard, it grabs on. So there's a nice curve. So a lot of cars, they don't get it that well. And in the C10, sadly to say, it is one of the things that I don't really like about the car. So upon the initial depression, the little touch of it, the brake is so grabby. So it takes a little bit of time to get used to it. Of course, a lot of EV also suffer from the same issue, and some might even say that it's a matter of preferences. I would definitely say that if you drive the car long enough, maybe just 2 or 3 days, you will get used to it. But personally, it's something that I don't really enjoy in this car. So let's touch on a little bit about the safety of the car, because that is clearly a concern when you're buying a car. Well, no concern here, because the Leapmotor C10 has a 5-star Euro NCAP rating. That is pretty much like the safest car, among the safest cars you can get in the market right now. So the body is very sturdy. It's built with high-strength steel and all that material to ensure that you are safe even in the unfortunate event of an accident. The C10 will keep you safe in the event of an accident, but what we really want is to avoid getting into an accident in the first place. And well, the C10 will do something about that for you as well, because it is equipped with a full suite of driving assist systems. So this means that the car actually has adaptive cruise control. So on the expressway, you activate it, you will follow the car in front, keep a safe distance. It also has lane centering, which means that you pretty much don't even need to steer, the car will steer itself for you. And why does that matter? You might think that is a system for convenience. Well, the fact that it has such a system means that it is equipped with all the sensors and cameras that you want to keep you safe on the road. So the car actually has 6 cameras and sensors, and what it does is you get things like blind spot detection, you get things like rear collision warning, you got your forward collision assist, the car will brake if it gets too close to the car in front. You got rear cross traffic alert, so when you are trying to reverse out of a tight spot, it alerts you when there's a car oncoming and you wouldn't crash into them. So all these systems, it all works well together to keep you safe while you're driving on the road. And well, it simply makes things easier, more convenient for you. So you will go on long road trips, you will be more relaxed, and well, if you are relaxed, it is less likely that you will get into an accident. The highlight of this car, to me, is actually just how comfortable it is. Let's start with the whole spacious interior right here. This car is shaped kind of boxy, like a box, and it gives you plenty of headroom and legroom. I'm not a very tall fella, so there's no issue with headroom, but what it gives is this feel of airiness. It really gels very well with the entire interior design as well, because it really feels like you're kind of sitting in a moving living room, you're in your couch or something. It's spacious, materials are nice, it's well put together, and sound is well insulated as well. It's really pretty quiet inside here. You don't hear much when other cars drive past you. If you turn on the speaker, it has a 12 speaker custom system, which sounds pretty good to me. You play some music and you really get transported into this just a comfortable living room kind of space. You just sit there, cruise along on the road, ride quality is good, you're enjoying the spacious interior, listen to your music, and it is really quite enjoyable. Of course, it will be even better if I'm the passenger in the car and not the one driving. So now for the biggest question of the day. The Leapmotor C10, is it a will buy, won't buy, or go try? Well, simply because of how comfortable it is and how much value it provides, it is a will buy for me. So let me explain a little bit more about the kind of value that this car provides. So you see, this is a Cat A EV SUV, so definitely we'll be comparing it against some of the popular cars out there. Definitely the BYD Sea Lion 7, that's one. Another car I can think of is the recent MG S6, that is a pretty nice car as well from what I understand. And the Xiaopeng G6 is another car that I can think of. So the G6 is a car that I really enjoy as well because of how clean and the build quality of it. And they recently released a Cat A model as well. So you see, what all these 3 cars have in common is that they are all priced around $200,000. Those cars, they are about 190 plus, thereabouts. But for the Leapmotor C10, it is only $175,999. So you're looking at about a savings of around $20,000, and that is very substantial. So in terms of equipment level, this car comes very close to all of them as well. So as previously talked about, we got the full suite of driving assist systems. The front seats, they are ventilated as well. The car is very spacious. The only thing that it's kind of lacking in is the native Android Auto and Apple CarPlay support, but that can be resolved with a aftermarket add-on, which is what they have included with the car for this test drive for us. And well, it's working pretty well for me. So from what I can see, at least from my viewpoint, this is a car that is comfortable, it's easy to drive, it's very spacious, the interior is so nice and well built. It really checks a lot of boxes, and for the fact that the price is so much considerably cheaper than the other obvious choices out there, I think it really is a will buy. So this is the review of the Leapmotor C10. Do you agree with what I said? Do you like the car as much as I do? Well, let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and remember to hit that notification bell so you wouldn't miss any of our videos. And remember to follow us on TikTok, IG and Xiaohongshu. We are at Sgcarmart. That's it for this video. See you next time. Bye! So apart from the space, this So apart from the space, there are nifty little